Ni hao, you can call me Ling Wu. I made it to the States through Angel Island before the Chinese Exclusion Act prevented Chinese and Japanese from entering America. I came here in 1879 and the act was passed in 1882. My cousin, who is also Chinese, made it into the country, however, in 1890, despite the act. She was an exemption because she was a student.
What other nationalities came through Angel Island?
Well, there was the Australians, the New Zealanders, Canadians, Mexicans, Central and South Americans, and a lot of Asians.
Privyeta. I am Elena Koneva Olegevna. That's me right there going through inspection on Ellis Island. I couldn't afford one of the first or second class tickets, so I was a steerage passenger, and that meant that I had to go through the full inspection process at Ellis Island. First and second class just kind of got a little glance over on the ship. The whole inspection took about 5 hours, but there were so many people there, that was reasonable time. They checked us for diseases, made sure we didn't have any legal problems, and if we did, they would send us back to where we came from because of the Immigration Act of 1882.
What was the purpose of the Immigration Act?
Well, people wanted to restrict immigration because they associated us, the immigrants, with overcrowding and the diseases and the lack of jobs. So the American government created the Immigration Act to allow for immigrants to be rejected and not allowed into the country.
Ciao, my name is Stefano Bianchi. I'm the oldest son in my family, so I went first to America. My plan was to make enough money so that I could pay for tickets to bring the rest of my family after me. Earning enough money took a while with the low wages that I made at the factory, however.
What was it like on the ship over?
Well, I was on a larger ship, so there were about 1,600 in that range of other immigrants on the ship with me. It was so crowded and dark. I remember feeling literally like I was in a can of sardines. Oh, and the smell. It was horrendous. The rocking of the ship caused people to throw up, and the toilets were not very effective. It was all made worse because there was no ventilation, so all the scents just stayed inside and the air got really stiff and nasty. A lot of people didn't survive. Dude 3 bunks down from me, he died halfway through the trip, and no one even noticed because he never got out of his bunk, and I was like, a lot of people didn't. There wasn't much room to move around, so people just stayed in their bed.
Jesus, that's horrible. Why did you just bow?
You said the Savior's name. I'm Catholic like most of the new immigrants. It's one of the main reasons why they don't like us as much. The old immigrants were Protestants, so they fit in a lot better with the society. But we are mainly Catholic, Jewish, and Eastern Orthodox. The new immigrants, that is. The new wave. We also have more of a language barrier and a cultural barrier, so we don't fit in as well. Adding in the fact that we're mainly illiterate and poor, yeah, it's been a rough transition.
What was it like coming to America?
Well, the first thing I saw was the Statue of Liberty. It was so big, larger than life, just like America.
She was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
It was scary, of course, but the promise of something better was too good to pass up. And we weren't accepted, but it was still better than the unrest in Europe.
People would try and take advantage of me because I wasn't very educated. A lot of people were just rude to me, especially the nativists, who thought that I wouldn't belong, that I couldn't fit into society.
The nativists really did not like the Chinese, even after all the work we had done for so cheap on the railroad. They still only saw us as people who were coming to steal their jobs. In their eyes, we were no better than the Negroes.
The nativists are nothing but a whole bunch of stuck-up, privileged do-rots that believe they're better than us just because they happen to be born in America. But they forget that their ancestors were immigrants too.
What about where you lived?
With all of the immigrants and the people coming from the country to the city, space was very limited. We lived in the slums where you were just as likely to find a rat as you were to find a dead body. That being, you were very likely to find both. The rooms were really tiny and nasty and just gross.
Just like on the ship over, disease became a problem very quickly. I mean, with so many people so close, how could it not? Smallpox, typhoid fever, malaria, yellow fever, cholera, and tuberculosis ran rampant in the cities.
Oh my gosh, a rat! And a dead body! What? I told you you could find these anywhere.